going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I am your host, Nick, joined by my sexy, beautiful, gorgeous wife, who's now...
It's always about my looks. It's never about what's inside.
Okay.
She's always sexy, gorgeous, beautiful, hot. But like, where's the like...
Never pure of heart.
Never kind.
Yeah.
Never brave. Never... It's
loving.
It's never loving.
She's all those things. She's also 27.
She's 27. Nick was like, honestly, this is weird for me. You know, like, you're not really like young.
Wow.
I said, let us not forget that you're damn near 50.
Yeah,
so I am definitely still young.
I did not say that. I was just like, wow, you're like full adult now.
I'm in my late 20s.
Okay, Leonardo DiCaprio.
I know, right? Really, that's what I said. He was like, "Oh, 27, not what I signed up for."
Listen, we'll renegotiate at 28.
Yeah.
Not what I said.
Yeah. What do you? What's it? Matthew McConaughey in Dazed and Confused.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
These girls stay the same age.
Not my wife.
They keep getting older, but I stay the same age.
Also, Sierra had a birthday.
I did.
Yes. Happy
I don't need to
birthday,
share how
Mama.
old I am.
Okay.
No, but it was great, and it lasted forever. I went to Ojai Valley Inn, and then did a day at Disney with my fiance,
Oh my
and
God,
then did dinner with some of my girlfriends at the Bel Air Hotel. It was so nice.
Wait, what did Connor get you for your birthday? Was it like the trip, and the Disney, like all that? Was like your-
yeah, and I accepted.
Arms
Fully.
wide open. Yeah.
Paid for a Michelin star dinner.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and we were stuffed. Oh my God, it was so
How
good.
was your birthday?
My birthday was lovely.
Ooh. My birthday was lovely.
It was sexy, hot, delicious, and like so sexy, like legs open, sexy and beautiful. No, it was. I mean, Nick did wake me up at the ass crack of dawn with my gifts, which like is so nice that
Well,
he had gifts.
I-
I was like, "What time is it?" He was like, "Oh, it's 6:10," and I was like, "Oh."
River got her gifts, and I wanted River to bring her the
You
gift.
didn't want. River was so excited. She was like,
100%.
"Wake up, mommy!"
Yeah.
And you were like, "Duh."
Yeah.
She got her 2 gifts.
Rivy got me a gift, and Nick got me a gift. It was so sweet. And then Nick made pancakes. Which like love, even though I was supposed to be gluten free, but Nick was like, I feel like your birthday is a cheat day for the gluten. He's like, I
Yes.
think it's too hard for me to figure out what you can eat that doesn't have
Also,
gluten
I don't
in
need
it.
her like sadly eating a salad on her birthday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And then he invited like
Flowers then.
oh yes, he had flowers sent in, which were huge and gorge. And then he invited a couple of my friends over, and we like he ordered Din Tai Fung, and we had
Love.
that
Nice.
for lunch, and then drank some wine and just kind of hung out. And then he cooked a delicious steak meal. It was very lovely.
Beautiful.
He did
Good
great.
job.
Mhm.
He did great. And then he looked at me and he said, "I want nothing for my birthday."
Love
And I
that
was
for
like,
you.
You seem serious, so okay.
I am serious.
Mhm.
And I'm like, and honestly,
That's
I
mostly
don't
'cause,
have
like,
anything in mind. So
Her birthday, when she didn't want anything, wasn't cheap. And we need to save some money. And so I got to take one for the
I
team.
told you I didn't want anything.
Yeah, I know you did. You not want anything ain't
The
cheap.
fact that you got her something.
Exactly.
Like when I told you
Love
about
me
you,
so
you're crazy.
much.
Well, we have a great episode lined up for you today. First and foremost, we never say this: like, subscribe, tell your friends. Hit that follow button. Is there a follow button, subscribe button? I don't know. Wherever you're listening to us, however you're enjoying this show, be sure to tell your friends. On Spotify, apparently you can DM someone now.
Yep. Send
Yeah.
a message.
Maybe you're tuning in for our special guest, Katie Ginella, is with us. I think she's bringing her husband, who I don't think she's planning on having him appear, but I'm a big fan of Matt. I'm not team anyone, as I told Katie, but I think most people in this, who's team Katie here?
Me.
I am.
Her husband's hot too.
He is cute.
I'm team.
I ride for her, Charlie.
I'm team Matt for sure, because I just love a supportive husband.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Even if Katie is wrong, and I'm not saying she is.
And a respectful
it's like
husband.
He is
Yeah.
respectful.
Because the way he checked Tamara out the door was just like, girl, you talk shit about my wife. Like, let's not do this. And I was like,
He's
oh,
not
that's
fighting
hot.
like a housewife. He's fighting like a
Yeah.
husband,
Yeah.
and we love it.
Here's a fact.
But it's also like, God forbid a housewife commits a minor infraction.
God
you know?
forbid.
We're acting like she did something terrible.
I don't need my wife to be right with her friends.
Exactly.
You know,
You care about her.
I care about her.
And I care
Exactly.
about you, Katie.
And her coworkers. Let's be real, they're coworkers,
Yeah.
and they're picking on Katie.
100%.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyways, Katie's with us. We'll get all of your burning questions answered with Katie. Also, we have Cecilie Fjellhøy. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
You did.
Hard to say. I just learned how to say 1,000.
But are you
1,000.
Okay, there you go.
There you
There you
go.
go.
Hey, that coaching's working.
So-
It is. We are proud.
Mhm.
Now we have to have our 1,000th episode right now because
No.
he was like,
Well, I haven't really. It doesn't flow yet. I have
Oh,
to still 1,000th. Think about it, right? So I think we'll celebrate our 1,000th into our 1,000th
Okay.
episode. See,
it's getting worse as you go on.
To celebrate our 1,000th episode, Nick is going to say 1,000th 1,000 times.
1,000.
That's the entire hour and a half
Zip,
episode.
zap,
Thanks for tuning
zippo,
in.
zebra, xylophone, Mozart.
Okay.
These are my words I have to
Is
practice.
this your practice?
Yeah. Mhm.
You did all of them so well.
We have Cecilia.
From Love Con Revenge, a new show coming out on Netflix that's all about,
Love, con, and revenge.
well, like relationship scammers, like basically Dirty Johns,
Romantic fraud.
Right.
romantic
Yeah.
frauds.
Yeah.
Excited to talk with her.
Which it is crazy to think that anyone would like give their money away. You know, like if a man asked me for money and was like, "Hey, I just need like a quick like 5,000 to help with my mortgage," I would be like, "Good luck."
No, but that's
Wish you
what's
the
fascinating.
best.
These people's
But
stories.
these men are
yeah.
so they're so like, my dog died and my mom and I love
One's
you
like
so
a
much.
war
and-
veteran who like faked a hero story. You know, not even that he was a hero. That it was like it's a whole thing.
It's
I was
crazy.
like the wellness company one. I was like, that kind of makes sense. Or even the fact that they will like pay them back in the beginning, smaller amounts
Yeah.
to gain the trust. It's like,
It's a real
okay,
con.
that's a real, it's a real business.
We also had Kat and Dale on yesterday's episode of Going Deeper as they wrapped up Bachelor in Paradise. They're still together.
Yeah.
They are still together, and honestly, they look like they're doing good.
They're
like,
hot together.
They're hot together.
Yeah.
Dale seems like very understanding of Kat's emotional side, which I don't think most men are, and I love that for her.
Yeah,
Dale does speak like a politician.
he does. Sometimes I ask questions and I was like, not even entirely sure what you're saying.
Yeah, but I was like, okay.
Yeah, sure.
It's long,
Whatever, man.
it's well thought out.
It's long.
You said a
it's
lot of
well
sentences.
thought out. Yep, it is.
It's not the worst thing in the world to have a man who's PR trained. You know, the flip side
opposite
of
that,
side
you're
of
right,
that
is worse for sure.
Yeah.
I kind of, and also like I believe Kat's version of events when it comes to some of the like we had Alicia
Alicia?
on
Mm-hmm.
who told her story.
Yeah.
We didn't have Prisa on. Prisa sent me a message basically saying Kat's a bully.
Right. I thought based off of Alicia being here that Kat was dating someone else. I might have read into that incorrectly.
Well, yeah, I mean, Alicia said point blank, and I mean, they said it on the finale that Kat went into Bachelor in Paradise with a boyfriend. This boyfriend was like friends with Sean.
Some text messages or something.
But I really
sneaking the iPad in. We asked Kat about all of it. She answered all of it. So
I believe her version, and I do because I do think sometimes, to Kat's point, people don't stop their lives to go on this show.
Right.
This idea that you're supposed to like cleanse both figuratively and emotionally and mentally your life and your body
Mhm.
if you go on a bachelor world for love, that you're supposed to like abstain from talking to anyone, communicating with anyone. Many of these people, like Kat and Dale, decided to go days before they actually went, not
Right.
sure if they're going to go. No one in dating culture today is defining relationships. No one.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
no one has a boyfriend or a girlfriend. They're all just dating.
Mhm.
So, like, maybe Kat was dating someone and talking to someone, and maybe she went on a show not thinking she would meet someone. I just don't think that's much of a crime that many people who go on the show try to weaponize and use against their peers. I just don't think it's that much of a crime. And if Kat really met someone like Dale and was like, I really like this guy, I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And I also don't think going to the bars is spending the holidays with someone. And so if she's telling the truth, then Sean and Alicia are giving, you know, the typical, like, we didn't go as far as you energy, and we're going to use your typical bachelor tropes and accusations to try to, like, take you down because, like, we didn't have the same experience that you had.
That moment was embarrassing, in my opinion, secondhand. When they
For
were like
what?
exposing Kat and it was just like we're calling a meeting together, and I was like, oh, this is not landing the way that you think it is. And it's kind of like the age-old Bachelor thing where it was like the person that tries to get somebody else kicked off by being like, no, they're awful and they're this, and it's like, you're gone.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah.
it did not work out the way that they intended it to.
Yeah, so like if they really are together and they seem to be, I'm not sure what's the crime,
Yeah.
you know?
They went on a show, they met, they fell for each other. No crime.
It's not that hard to believe that Kat didn't have a boyfriend. She was like talking to a guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, Dancing with the Stars has revealed its new cast, and it seems like it's pretty good. Headlining that cast, you know, you're not excited? Dylan Efron.
Well, love Dylan Efron.
Alex Earl.
You have Jen and Whitney from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
I also love the combination of Hilaria Baldwin with Gleb, like the drama.
I'm sorry. Did y'all see her tagline?
No.
She's
Yoga-
dancing with Gleb.
She's dancing with Gleb.
We gotta get Gleb on.
The concept of Alec Baldwin watching his wife on Dancing with the
Nope.
Stars with Gleb.
Gleb was also partners with Lisa Vanderpump, and there was
Oh
like a
my
bunch of scandal
God.
about them being a partnership because they kind of always like lean into things.
We gotta get Hilaria on.
You
She's
do.
hilarious.
Please, have
No,
you guys seen
hilarious.
the Baldwins?
Zoom into her tagline. Can you zoom on that?
They
or
have
no?
taglines?
Well, it's like their jobs, you know, like they're like
What is hers?
yoga instructor Alec Baldwin's wife.
Have you guys seen the Baldwins? Have you ever watched it?
No.
It's one of the most brain melting things in the world because it's like, obviously Alec Baldwin had that whole thing with that movie where he did that thing and
Where he
people,
killed someone?
yeah, where he killed someone and
Accidentally.
and everyone was like, this guy sucks. And then you watch the Baldwins and you're like, you know what? Put him back on TV, give him a role. He needs to get out of his house.
Listen, I don't know what happened in that movie, and accidents can be terrible, and I don't know what's going on there. And for the
Hilaria
victims
Baldwin,
involved,
very sad.
sucked. Very sad. He seems to be a supportive husband who loves his wife.
He loves his wife
And I
and
think
all
that's
her
a-
accents.
And I think that's an admirable trait.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Even when she's like yelling at him on a red carpet in front of an interview.
That
Yeah.
was wild.
Or when he's just like sadly walking next to her on a beach on the Baldwins.
Maybe it's just a whole bit.
It could be. He has like 18 kids.
Yoga instructor.
I guess so. We got Dylan Efron, Robert Irwin, Whitney Levitt, Jen Affleck, Alex Earl, Danielle Fishel, Topanga, Jordan Childs.
I really think Dylan's going to go far.
Jordan?
Dylan.
Oh, I think Jordan will too. She's a
Jordan
Yeah,
Childs
she
is
beat-
like,
Yeah.
incredible gymnast.
But that's, again, they love a non-dancer who might... Joey, right? Danced very well. Danced excellently. But like a lot of people didn't expect Joey, former Bachelor, for have his hips be as loose as they were. Jordan Childs, like, okay, gymnast. It's like, okay. Like Alex Earl, we're expecting her to crush. We're expecting her to know how to dance.
Are we?
Elaine Hendricks is
Diva.
iconic.
Diva.
Wow.
Diva.
Meredith?
Ugh.
We have Scott
Meredith?
from Pentatonics.
Cool.
Don't know who that is.
You don't know
I do.
Pentatonics?
Amazing
Singer.
voice. Incredible
Yeah.
voice. Yeah.
You said amazing voice and you're going to try to replicate what he's doing.
Hallelujah. They have like, it's one
Sounds
of
like it.
on YouTube.
Live.
It's got that, like Hallelujah. Him and his like
The other
Pentatonics.
Tonics.
Natalie, you know Pentatonics.
I do not know.
Circa
Pentatonics.
2014 to now, they're massive.
I mean, you grew up in,
Acapella
you grew
group,
up in
yeah.
the South around Christmas time. You heard Pentatonics.
No. I
No?
heard.
No.
Play it.
No. No, I didn't. I'm gonna tell you who I heard
Who'd
if
you
I
hear?
could think of their name.
Acapella, the little
Great
drummer boy.
argument.
No, it was all the sisters.
Oh, Cimarelli.
Cimarelli.
I know them too.
That's I don't know these people.
Mm.
I am so
Oh, I
sorry
know-
for this
I know
man.
who they
I
are.
do not know
I'm
this
so sorry
man.
for this man, but I do not know this man.
Anyway,
They're really great.
Lauren
Uh,
Drugi from Fifth Harmony.
which they just.
Reunited
they
without
brought it
Camila
back.
Cabello.
I
Yeah.
know.
She's in Miami.
But she commented some hearts, so no hard
Did she?
feelings. Yeah.
Mike
Yeah.
Lee?
She did comment hard.
Justin has really been riding.
So
for
shouldn't
me
it be
to get
Fourth
into Camila
Harmony?
Cabello.
It might be come.
Yeah.
It might be come.
Like Camilla just couldn't make the
What?
flight
Well,
for like
I-
the one performance.
Camila's too big.
Normani was on my season of Dancing with the
I
Stars.
love Normani.
Cool.
Ah.
And I was talking shit then. I was like, why aren't you guys Fourth Harmony? When I was trying to get in her head.
But she's
Lovely
a
person.
She's become a solo artist.
Camila,
She's crushed. so,
Camila and
like,
Normani are the ones that blew up the most out of all of them, I believe.
Lauren
Yeah.
had a solo album too. I liked one of her songs, so that's why I'm like maybe it's just niche.
Is she not? Is she the bisexual one?
Why is it always about their sexuality?
I just personally, growing up, remember which one was bisexual.
I don't care who you love.
Period.
Neither.
Do you think Sydney Sweeney cares about Scooter Braun?
Dude,
Because they're
Sydney-
allegedly
you know what?
dating.
I respect her game. She don't give a fuck. Sydney Sweeney don't.
Her dating the most hated man in America
She's-
alongside, I don't know, Kanye West is like crazy.
She's committing to the bit.
She don't give a fuck. She's like, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna make my money. I'm gonna go to billionaires' weddings. I'm gonna date unpopular men in pop culture. She doesn't give a fuck.
Them allegedly meeting at the Bezos wedding too is like the funniest part.
It checks out.
It does. It just
I
all
really-
is like, yeah, that
Definitely
makes
checks
sense.
out.
In a world where we need to have the guts to just be us and not worry about what everyone on the internet is saying because no one can mind their own business. Like Natalie was pointing out the other day, like everyone in this thinks everything is about them.
It was, I don't know if y'all have seen this, but it was this woman, and I cannot remember her name, but she posted a video. I guess she's married to some like Major League Baseball player. She posted a video saying that like she's pregnant, she's going into the hospital to do like the hospital tour, and she like didn't have her husband with her, and she was like, oh my God, guys, I was like so embarrassed because like everyone was probably looking at me like, oh, this is just some like young girl who got knocked up, like she's probably like some single mom, and I was like so embarrassed. Everyone in the comments is like, I'm a single mom and I'm not embarrassed. It's like everyone just takes everything so personally. It's like,
Yeah.
why do you let that
About you.
offend you? Like,
Mhm.
I was raised by a single mom, and like I read it, I heard it, and I was like, oh, okay, swipe. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. She felt embarrassed. Like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
She just like wanted her husband there, and it was just more like her husband would normally be there if he wasn't like throwing baseballs 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
She wishes he was there, and she was expressing that, and the whole internet fucking came for her.
And
It's
she had
like,
to make an apology video, being like crying, like this isn't what I meant. Like I'm so sorry to everyone I've offended.
my
And it's like,
God.
guys, y'all have got to be able to just see something you don't agree with and scroll.
But it is-
Emotionally regulate.
it
and
is
that's
really-
why Sydney Sweeney is like, she is helping. She's healing America by letting people know. It's like, honestly, if you don't like what I'm doing, move the fuck on.
Sure.
I don't know if people are able to move on from
I
Sydney
don't-
Sweeney.
I think you should.
I think
She did make a
healing.
good point.
It's really not your problem. Whatever.
She did
whoever
make
Sydney.
she did make a good point about the bathwater thing. She was like, everyone loved it when Jacob Elordi did it
Yeah.
after salt bath, whatever the fuck. that movie was
Yeah,
called.
that
did.
godforsaken movie.
Hated that movie.
I loved it.
But like he
I-
made his bathwater bath bomb, and everyone was like eating that shit up, and she was like, but I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scooter Braun is
point.
wild though.
She's like,
Scooter Braun is
she's like,
crazy.
what is going to piss off the masses even a little
Half the world
Scooter Braun.
more?
already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like at the core, Sydney Sweeney is just like a girl who moved to Florida and started dating like a like
Whoever the fuck
lame
she
dude.
wanted.
What?
Whoever the fuck she wanted.
Exactly. And I'm like, that honestly tracks. Good for her.
Good for
Sure.
her. And also good for Cardi B because
Mhm.
Cardi B has won her civil case
Not guilty.
against.
Or I'm just going to say it, innocent.
She did not hit that bitch.
Innocent.
No.
Cardi,
She
you've
said,
never
and I
done
did not
anything
call
wrong.
her fat. I called her a bitch.
She's not liable for any damages.
But what's
Nope.
crazy is on their lunch break, while the jury, I guess, is deliberating, or before the jury breaks to deliberate, she goes outside. And of course, I don't know why her team led her outside to the
paparazzi.
front to the paparazzi and the news reporters. Like she should have gone out a back door or a side door. And she goes out the front, and someone says something about her Offset, her ex-husband, like fighting for paternity rights and like just like asking about her current boyfriend, just like questions that have nothing to do with this case. And she goes over to someone wanting an autograph, takes their pen, and throws it at her assault trial. She throws a pen at this reporter.
Again, I don't see her doing anything wrong.
I know it was definitely valid, but
Yeah.
it was like maybe wait until like after the jury has like given you
Yeah.
your.
she said, do you not hear? Like, I know, I won. Come at me.
And then the of course, you know, the plaintiff's lawyer is like gonna bring this up. You know, they go back into court, and he's like, well, at lunch break, let me tell you what Miss Cardi B did. And he's like, and I have the video to prove it. And she did that on court grounds at this court. He's like really trying to like pull at the judge's like on the court grounds, she assaulted somebody. And the judge was like, well, if the court didn't see it, then he's like, well, I can show you the video. And he's like, well, I'm sure you can, but like the court didn't see it. So
Yeah.
it's
I
fine.
said, leave Cardi alone.
Leave How do you think the Barbs feel about Cardi being innocent?
I think they feel great. And props to Cardi B for
The
knowing.
Barbs?
Oh, the Barbs.
They don't, yeah.
The Barbs.
They might.
Maybe.
Are they still beefing?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell. I feel
It's
like
Nicki
the Barbs. I
Minaj's
feel like
fan-
it's Barbs
Nicki
against
Minaj.
everyone because of what Nicki has done.
Why can't these fan groups all come together? Like, why can't the Beehive? What are the Swifties and the Beehive and the Barbs?
That's
Yeah.
what Taylor Swift's fan base tries to claim. Like, we all have crowns, right? That one line she has.
You know, I don't know if the Swifties are that kind
No.
to want to give their crowns
That's
out.
true. That's true. They tried.
And the thing about the Beehive is like when they come at you, at least personally, I've been like,
You've
know
been
what?
attacked by the Beehive?
I haven't been attacked by the Beehive, but I've been like, when we were talking about Cowboy Carter.
You do
that
kind of
one
look like
time.
a Swiftie.
Okay. I'm blonde.
That's a
They were
compliment.
like,
I don't know how to take that.
oh my god,
It's the
femme.
bandana in your hair. that's
I'm
giving
femme today, you guys.
Swiftie.
Americana.
Yeah.
Americana, it is.
Anyway, I was like, you know what? Fair point. I think sometimes when the stands come at you, you got to be like, you know what? All right.
You need to Sydney Sweeney it. You need to not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Well, you know who's doing that? Karen Hooger. She's
True.
released from jail, and there's already cameras following her around.
Which is wild.
We don't know
Didn't she
who's-
just go to jail?
Yeah, like I think it was 6 months or something.
She had
right?
a quick little
It was a
turnaround.
quick 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, when you're not in the jail and you're not
Goes by
searched,
fast.
it goes by fast when you're not actually serving the time.
Yeah. She was waving to the people as the car drove out. It
Yeah.
was cute.
Like when you're a fan from the outside, it just breezes right by.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. We don't know if it's Bravo cameras though, but there were cameras in her car as she exited the jail.
I mean, who else would it be?
Can she make merch
Like her
that
own personal
says-
GoPros? I
YouTube
feel like that's
channel?
not
I don't
right.
know.
I mean, season 10 premieres October 5th. So, yeah, they probably just did like a
Pickup,
pickup.
potentially.
Mhm.
Ooh, yeah.
Or an ID documentary called Thomas Jefferson's Concubine.
Crazy.
She should make merch. That's still like my
Crazy.
favorite thing ever. It's the funniest thing you could say.
TJ's comp.
TJ's comp.
I think she's gonna try to hide that in her past.
She definitely is.
Yeah.
She's burying that. She's burying that. And Brittany Cartwright went on a romantic getaway with her new boyfriend.
So it's confirmed the man.
So it is confirmed that
Mhm.
man. And is he married?
Jackson show up?
or
According to the woman claiming to be his wife,
She says that they're married.
she says that they're married.
There is another person out there who's claiming to be married to Brittany's boyfriend?
yeah.
Mm.
She's like left a comment on there being like, that's my husband. I'm going to try to find it directly. But yeah,
Oh boy, Britt.
like they're both going through a separation is what
Mhm.
I'm hearing.
That's what I heard,
And like
yeah.
that's how they've come together.
You're going through separation. That's not your man's
So-
anymore. You're trying to separate, or he's trying to
Well,
separate from you.
But can't she just find a free agent? There's plenty of single, lonely men out there.
That's it. I also like the dynamics of like a separation versus like going through a divorce though, where I'm like, so because it technically is still her husband, right? Because they
I
haven't
mean,
filed for divorce.
Legally,
Listen,
yeah.
if you're on a date, right?
Uh-huh.
And divorce takes a long time and it can be messy. And you go on a date and someone's like, listen, I'm married, but I'm separated. I'm not divorced. Like immediately you have a long list of questions to ask. How does your wife feel about this? Even if you hate her and don't want to date them, like, is she gonna be a problem? Is he gonna be a problem? Are they gonna be going on my Instagram commenting, that's my husband? Like, is it really worth it? Like, and in my experience, people who are separated but not divorced, where they have like messy divorces and they're already going on trips with their new partners, like usually those things don't.
Especially
Go
somebody
well.
who would be photographed. So I would say that, but I'm like, it's also giving an air of like Randall and Lala with the ex-wife being like, we
Oh,
were
yeah.
still married, but he was telling her they were separated.
Also, Kristen said
Mm.
she met the man and like he's a genuine person,
Right,
With
so-
Brittany, so it seems like a good relationship.
Yeah.
This is just messy.
Do you think Brittany paid for the vacation, or do you think he did?
I just don't think Brittany wants peace.
She paid for everything with Jax.
I don't think we
100%.
know anything about this person besides his name.
Brandon, yeah, and that his ex or his wife is commenting saying he's my husband and that man is married.
Mm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Is that scammer material, do you think?
I mean, they are selfing it up on this beach.
It's potentially scammer material.
Yeah.
You know, married but separated, immediate red flag.
The insider divulged the pair reconnected well after he had already been separated and explained that they found comfort in each other as they've been navigating their respective divorces and personal life changes. I mean, like, is Brittany even officially divorced yet, or is she still separated?
But
from
I think they're both separated. I
Yeah,
don't know
so-
that official filings have happened. So I think that the term of being married,
It seems like this woman maybe saw her legal husband getting some
attention and in a
attention with a famous
public
woman.
facing
And was like-
relationship
and
and
was
was like,
like,
let's go.
Absolutely the fuck not.
Such a messy.
That's-
messy.
I mean, listen,
Messy,
and people do it. It's
messy.
just like it's not.
Messy,
It's not going
messy.
to not be messy.
Yeah. I just don't know that this would work out well and like hashing it out publicly anyways. You know
Good
what
luck.
Mhm.
You know,
I mean? So,
Good.
Did you see Allie Lewber move to Charleston?
we heard about it.
We did hear about it. I think maybe it's just like she's summering in the South.
Yeah,
Like, how
she
do we
said
know?
she's
Like,
following her astrology or whatever it is and just seeing what happens.
She's
Maybe
following the
just-
charts.
The charts,
Just
yeah.
find the
Okay.
charts. Maybe just like the chart letter to like a month-long Airbnb.
Speaking of which, we followed the charts on
Hey.
Tuesday's episode. We had Not That Cosmic, an astrologist who accurately predicted the fallout between Love Island's ace, Nick, and Taylor, and gave her predictions on Nicolandria, which, speaking of fan bases, I don't know if they have a name. They were not pleased with her prediction, and it came for us.
Oh.
So I was like, I thought we said something nice about Nicolandria, and then I forgot that we had the astrologer on who gave their prediction.
Oh, that they were gonna either define the relationship or break up.
Yeah.
But I'm like, isn't that just
They were
what
going to
has
define the
to
relationship
happen?
or break up. You do one or the other anyways in life.
Hey, it's been X amount of time.
They're either
Should
going to
we-
get married or break up.
I don't think we're
Yeah.
allowed to say their name unless we're just simply obsessed.
I
Which I
personally am
Yeah.
obsessed with Nicolandria.
We're here for it.
Well, you know what I'm not obsessed with?
What are you not obsessed with?
The new doc on Netflix, Unknown Number, the High School Catfish. I'm pretty sure it's just rage bait in a movie because there is no happy ending.
Go. So
There's nothing to root
First of all,
for.
spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, you want to watch, you plan on watching it.
Skip
this part. I do think you're better off listening to what we have to say. You'll still enjoy it because it's a fucking crazy story.
It's a documentary, right?
It's a doc.
Yeah, it's a movie. Yeah.
Well, movie and doc are not.
Documentary film.
Tell them about it, babe.
Okay, it's a documentary film. Sorry. A documentary movie just feel like that's not the same as a documentary
Yeah.
film.
Well,
Oh.
it's not a some
not an
some
episode-
docs
it's not a
are
docu-series.
Episode 1, episode
It's a
2, episode
feature-length
3. This is just
documentary.
it's an hour and a half.
Okay.
It's real life though.
You were right.
And this happened in 2022,
hmm
I believe, and it is absolutely
Berserkers.
batshit crazy. So this 14-year-old girl is in a relationship with
Lauren.
another 14-year-old boy. They're in like junior high, however, whatever grade you're in, young kids in love, whatever. 14. And all of a sudden, it's around Halloween, and they get a group text, her and her boyfriend, from an unknown number. And it's like, Owen doesn't want you, you stupid bitch. Like, you're not going to the Halloween party. He wants me instead. And they were like, oh, like, who's messing with us? Like, this is so weird. Like, okay, whatever. Anyways, it goes on for 2 years.
Well, it stopped for like a few months, maybe 9 months, and then it started up again. And when it started back up again, it became incredibly excessive.
Thousands of messages a day.
700 pages worth printed out of text messages over the course
Whoa.
of 2 years.
Saying things along the lines of, you are anorexic, you should off yourself.
You should kill yourself.
And this is
Okay.
anonymous.
Yes.
It's from they like have an app that like changes your number constantly. So it's not
Oh.
like, just someone's phone that they
It's giving like Pretty Little Liars. Like,
Yeah.
it's giving
harassment.
like it is. So then it's a lot of like Owen wants someone who will have sex with him and give him BJs, and like you're not
really
doing
disgusting messages, very,
Very
graphic, very
graphic,
sexual,
very
very
vulgar.
dark, very
And
horrific.
so they're
it's
like-
giving teenage, like Mean Girl,
Mhm.
right? And it is. Nally and I went to a rodeo the other day.
that. Oh, okay. If you were skipping, you can stop for now. I guess.
Oh,
Listen to the story.
But this is a
circle
family
back.
event, and I was getting some food for our family, and I walked past this group of like I don't know how 12, 13 girls, and I walked past them, and I heard some of the most shocking things out of the mouths of these young women, and it was scary as a parent. But only I'm sorry for interrupting. Just pointing out that like it is you realize as a parent that like your kids grow up fast, and when they go to school, like. It's scary to think that 14-year-old girls might say something like this, but it is giving that like young mean girls whose maybe parents like let them watch rated R movies might talk this way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're online.
What is
TikTok too.
what is that
TikTok.
movie where they say like hell is a teenage girl?
Yeah.
Like teenage girls are some of the scariest people on the planet.
So even though these messages are horrific, it is giving like I don't know, maybe like
And they're saying a lot of very like personal things that like, only like the group of friends would
that's
know,
crazy.
or like, so the parents were like, this has to be someone who's close to them because they know these details. Either they're like following very closely, or it's someone in this group, They take it to the school. The school starts like watching back security footage to try to see who's on their phone as the time of the text message comes in. Like they finally take it to the police. The police starts like like talking to everybody in the school. It doesn't really come up with much. They try to like pin it on some other girl.
Yeah, there's a couple like suspects. Some of the girls who like, for example, Owen had a friend who was also close to him who didn't get along with Lauren, his then girlfriend, who he described as not a bully, but not nice.
You know, police thought it was her for a moment. And then finally they come up with like a dead end. And they're like, we just can't trace this number. Like, we just can't figure it out. So finally they go to the FBI. They pull in the FBI. We're now like 2.5 years later. The text messages are still coming in.
Owen and Lauren have since broken up.
Skip. Sorry, just letting them know.
Whatever. Listen, Owen and Lauren have since broken up, but the messages keep going. And like, Lauren and Owen are still being kind of harassed. He gets like a new girlfriend, and then this new girlfriend's who's like from like a different town's mom starts getting messages.
She's like, hey, someone just texted my mom from a random number. Like, do you know who this is? And he's like, I'm so sorry.
Owen's mom, Jill. I mean, these families are being harassed. It's just like it's this dark person who won't leave them alone. And it's just like they can't figure out who it is.
Owen
is someone's mom.
Owen's responding to the text saying like, you're making me want to, off myself. Like, please stop sending me these messages. Like, what do you want from me? It's just so dark. It's so sad. The FBI finally is able to track IP addresses from the app to Verizon. Verizon, it comes back as Lauren's mom.
Oh, that's
her
wild.
mother.
Her
mother.
It's so sick.
This mother is telling her daughter that the boyfriend, she's not giving the boyfriend blowjob. A 14-year-old isn't giving her boyfriend blowjobs or sex, and like she needs to do better.
Wait. What does the mom do? What is her?
So the mom
turns out she worked for like
fired.
a tech company.
She worked for a tech company and was fired by both of her jobs. No. Just was fired. So they had a lot of financial issues. She didn't tell her husband that she was fired. She was lying to the whole family of like, yeah, I got to go to work. Meanwhile, she's literally just sending her daughter thousands of messages a day. That was her job.
That's so sad. So she was unhappy about her life and had to make
the interviewers
her
like, you told your daughter to like kill herself. How could you do that? And she's like, well, I just knew she wouldn't. So that's why I was able to say that.
It was very frustrating. Honestly,
she's like laughing through it. It's sick.
What's the justice that gets served in said situation?
Well, she goes to jail.
She goes to jail.
Thank God.
For the maximum sentence, I think it was like 19 months.
For like federal stalking.
Not enough.
No, it definitely wasn't enough. And they, my frustration with the doc, I'm trying to find, they interviewed the director and there was a quote here.
I was like, what are the protections for the daughter once
it's so
mom
sad
gets
because
out?
the daughter, the daughter's like, while the mom's in prison, she's like, we talk twice a week. She's like, I miss my mom. Like, it's
There's a lot of
so
trauma.
sad.
It's really sad.
She's like an only child. She's like, that was like my closest person, my best friend. Like, I miss her. I miss the like feeling of having my mom around.
The really frustrating part with the doc, to criticize how it was put together, specifically the director, it seemed to empathize with the mom more than I wanted it to. Because, it was just more like, well, first of all, the mom participated in the doc. So while you're watching the doc.
She's in the doc?
Yes. The mom's like telling you like about what's going on. She's crying. She's being like, and these people were harassing my daughter.
And we don't know it's her until they
We don't know. No, it's her. And then when they finally caught her, she said that it wasn't me at first. But then like her explanations make no sense. She's clearly lying. Clearly this compulsive liar. I mean, you can this is like a sick person. They don't bring any type of like psychologist up. Like it was giving like they actually the principal of the school, who was kind of buffoony, but had a guess. He kind of guessed his analysis or his like diagnosis, which seemed kind of accurate. It was giving kind of Munchausen, a la Gypsy Rose,
like hurting her daughter so that her daughter needs her more.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
But also there was like a clear weird obsession with this Owen guy.
Yeah,
like this,
because if it continued after they broke up, that's
and
the
going
part
after
that
his girlfriend, and then you find out from after the fact that his mom like was showing up to his games.
He's a minor too, which
so that gave it very weird. And then, so the director was interviewed by Variety because people were surprised that the mom participated in the doc. And she says, I quote, she actually ended up really loving the experience. At the end of it, she said it was kind of fun.
Oh.
She laughed about things. And I think it was really an opportunity for her to think about things a little bit more in depth. every time I would ask a question, she would really have to think about things. And I think that was good for her. Who gives a fuck what was good for
Like,
her?
if I ever saw this woman in person,
It's on site.
I would be arrested.
Yeah.
Like, how this director was able to be like,
I just don't know why the director empathized with this
Yeah.
mom more than like the actual victims,
Yeah.
like Lauren and Owen. And I want a diagnosis here. I want bring on some psychologist. Explain to me why a mother would do something this horrific to her child.
Right.
Right? Like the best we got was from the mom, that giving like, well, she talked about being a victim of some terrible things when she was 17 and talked about childhood trauma. And it's just like, no, I get it. Like that's even become a bit of a trope. And again, like, yes, our childhood traumas can explain some of our very bad mistakes and things that we do and have to heal from. This is a whole nother level of like emotionally abusing your child and other children over the course of 2 years, lying to your entire community and family. I need you to explain to me something so dark and horrific other than like, I had some childhood trauma that I have to deal with. And then the director kind of like humanizing this mom in a way that I'm just not interested in her being humanized.
yeah.
That's kind of like the issue of like the ethics of true crime a lot of the time when you kind of get into it, because at a certain point you are kind of platforming these terrible people in order to, you're telling a compelling story first and foremost versus like trying to have justice for the people that this happened to.
I mean, to understand the story, you have to
know?
understand the mind. but-
Yeah, and you have to like
But you don't
empathize
even
with these
understand
people.
the
Yeah.
mind because
Yeah.
it's like this mom who's like doesn't
Yeah.
feel like she really did anything that wrong. She
Mhm.
literally says everyone's made mistakes, and like I'm sure
Mhm.
everyone has done something illegal. Like I'm sure everyone listening has like drove drunk at least once. Like that's illegal. That's the same thing I did, but
Not
just
the
like
same
different.
thing.
Not the
Are you
same.
crazy?
But also,
Oh,
it's-
that was another
But there was
part
no
when
like,
she said,
no one questioned that. They just let this woman say that without any
Yeah.
like objection
Yeah.
to it.
and then she said something like she was like trying to pull up a photo or something. She's like, oh, y'all are gonna think I'm a crazy lady. Well, yeah,
yeah.
we do. You're sick.
But then, like,
Mhm.
I mean, Claire, you could tell the director didn't like, there was another set of parents, the parents of the alleged mean girls that they thought might have done it. The one girl who Owen said, my friend's not a bully, but she's not nice. And then they interviewed this person's parents who, like, you can kind of, like, you can, if your kids are bullies in school, then you meet the parents. Sometimes you go, okay, no,
Got it.
it makes sense. At the very, they were like, I don't know why our everyone thinks our daughter's a bully. She's just like popular.
Yeah, they're like, she just has friends from all the other schools, and they're
so-
probably jealous
yeah.
of that.
I'm like, okay. And then at the very end of the doc, they get sound bites from these two parents who, they're frustrated that their daughter got accused for something she didn't do. Totally get that, right? But then they're like, then they throw the local cop under the bus and say he's a piece of shit. And then also blame Lauren, the girl, the real victim in this, and her dad, who also has been lied to by his wife
Crazy.
without any evidence.
They're like, I think they had a part in it.
And it's just like, no, they didn't. And you could just,
It's
in that
crazy.
moment, you're like, yeah, now I know why your daughter is described as not a bully, but not.
But like, it was
Nice.
just full rage bait. Like the whole time, you're
Mhm.
just mad.
I
Like
have
there's
so many
just,
questions.
yeah,
I'm gonna watch
I
it.
just, it's,
Are the parents still together?
no.
No.
See, if I'm that dad, I know it's complicated,
Uh-uh.
but like if I'm that dad, I'm out.
Yeah, no, the dad was like, when he found out, like the cop has like the body cam
Oh, you
on. So
see
you
it?
see
Yeah.
like the
you
cop
see
like come in.
you see the moment he finds out. It's sad. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Man.
But is it like, as new parents, we feel so lucky to have River and so blessed, and we are trying our best to be good parents, and I'm sure we'll make our mistakes. But it is scary when you watch these docs to know that there are just sick people out there who are parents. There are parents out there who will like allow their kids to be 12, 13 years old and go to a rodeo and have their kids like act like adults saying horrific things that they're not supposed to be saying. And like, how do you protect your kids from these people? It's a scary world out there.
Homeschool.
I don't know. No, when I was 12, I was definitely saying crazy ass shit.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, I got catfished by a girl I knew in middle school.
That's some crazy lore. that you
Yeah.
just dropped.
Yeah, on Kick.
Oh, well, see,
Kick.
we were
Yeah.
raised on
Right.
Kick. Yeah. So
What's
there's
Yeah.
an
Kick-
anonymous
A
texting
dark,
app.
Yeah.
dark
And it was like
place.
kids
Dark.
dating these adults that were like hidden behind
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
situation.
there was this. So I was like, obviously myself
It's like fuck.
in middle school, and there's this girl I was friends with, And she was like, oh, I have this cousin and she's like in love with you. And at the time I was like, that's disgusting. And
You're like, ew, girl on
I was
girl.
like, ew, no. Why would you think that about me? And
But is she interested?
no, I was like,
profile.
and then it was like this like random person, like there was a whole name and everything, and started like messaging me on Kik, and I was like, stop talking to me. And then there was like she made like a fake Instagram profile for it, and was like,
crazy.
if you don't want me, like I'm gonna go to the FBI. And I was in 6th grade, and I was like,
FBI.
I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my God, like, is this like, but then at the same time, I was like, I know this is you, bitch. Like, I know this isn't real, but it like still fucks with
It
your
does,
head when you're
yeah.
like a kid like that.
I'm glad it doesn't
Anyway,
exist anymore.
yeah, I got catfish.
But I also think it's kind of terrifying because, like, at least when I was in school, like, it's like maybe like an anonymous note left in a locker, not like a whole like internet profile made to troll. Like,
Mhm.
I don't
No,
know.
the whole community, whole school knew about this. And
So
That's
That's what I'm
That's
saying. It's like the
crazy.
whole like internet aspect of it, where I was like, I got it towards the end with like AIM and like
Yeah.
like live journals and things, and people would write anonymous like post
Yeah.
about people.
That's coming back. There's social media apps now where you're like it's per school.
It's
You
like
could,
Ask FM. remember
Ask
Oh my
that?
FM.
God,
Yeah,
Ask FM.
Exactly.
up next, we have Cecilie Fjellhøy from Love Con Revenge. Also, she was one of the victims on Tinder Swindler. He is now going after perpetrators on Netflix's upcoming series that focuses on romance fraud, and they'll be going after some of the same type of people that conned her, but now she is the one on the hunt, so to speak. Love Con Revenge premieres on Netflix on tomorrow, Friday, September 5th, so be sure to check that out. You will want to watch it if you, well, it'll give you the heebie-jeebies, but you'll also be super into it.
Well, some of you may know this, some of you may not know this, but at one point in my life, I was a healthcare worker. I was a surgical technologist. I was wearing scrubs every single day of my life. And the scrubs that I was wearing were Figs scrubs. And I cannot tell you how amazing Figs makes their scrubs. There's so many colors to choose from. There's so many fits and styles that you can choose from. They have tall, they have petite, they have flare, they have skinny, they have crop, they have jogger, whatever you want. Figs has it. They also have so many tops with different pocket orientations. If you like your pocket up on your chest, if you like 2 pockets down at your waist, whatever you want, Figs has it. They are incredibly soft, form-fitting, durable, and come in great styles. They even have outerwear. They have shoes. They have layering options. Figs has everything. So if you know someone who is in healthcare, get them a pair of Figs. Trust me when I say they will be so happy and so excited. With back to school season upon us, it's the perfect time to stock up with some fresh outfits of the year, and Figs just dropped a brand new collection of limited edition styles and accessories. If you're in healthcare or shopping for someone who is, you can get 15% off your first order at wearfigs.com with code FIGSRX. That's wearfigs.com with code FIGSRX.
You know what doesn't belong in your epic summer plans? Getting burned by your old wireless bill while planning your beach trips, barbecues, and 3-day weekends. Your wireless bill should be the last thing holding you back. That's why we made the switch to Mint Mobile. With Mint Mobile, you can get the coverage and speed you're used to, but for way, way less money. And we love spending less and getting more. For a limited time, Mint Mobile is offering 3 months of unlimited premium wireless service for $15 a month. So while your friends are sweating over data overages and surprise charges, you'll be chilling literally and financially.
Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. You can ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get the new customer offer in your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/VIALL. That's mintmobile.com/VIALL. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Welcome to the show, Cecilia. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
We're very excited to have you. I don't even know how to describe Love Con Revenge, or just, I guess, this space, this scam artist space that you've become a part of, very unfortunately, but you've, in the best possible way, I've seen to reclaim your power, and now with Love Con Revenge, helping some of these other victims, these women who are being scammed by these men. So just very excited to get a chance to speak with you. I think this is a space that has fascinated so many people. Obviously, Tinder Swindler captivated us, it fascinated us. It scared us. there were so many questions and there's so many judgments that come along with this space. But I just love to start with hearing a little bit from you. What has this whole experience been like, kind of becoming a public figure from Tinder Swindler? Yeah, let's just start there.
Yeah, I think what I say a lot of times is like, I love true crime and suddenly ended up in one yourself. I think I am one of the ones who always are on Netflix, like looking after the latest thing. So kind of seeing kind of the popularity and what the Tinder Swindler actually became and the phenomenon, it was just astonishing. But I think I was kind of lucky in the sense that how I was defrauded was just so wild. So people had a real kind of what the F, if I can curse.
You can definitely swear.
What is
yeah, what the fuck?
I can curse.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been mind blowing to kind of that this is my job now. That is very weird.
Yeah. Obviously, I think when it comes to this space, for lack of a better word to try to describe it, I think there is a huge fascination and shock, I think, for audience members. Both like I think the shock of these perpetrators, these men, almost like the shock of like, oh, these like the realization that like icky men like this exist. And then I also think there's a lot of, quite honestly, like judgment and confusion as it relates to the victims. And I think a lot of people have this like, how could you be so stupid? How could you let this happen? Certainly these lies are elaborate, but for someone who's been a victim, can you try to put us in the minds of what it's like to meet these type of men and explain why they are so convincing and why they're able to do what they do? Because I think in a lot of cases, these aren't victims who are stupid or who you would ultimately think know better. But what is going on? Like, get us into the psychology of why this is able to happen.
Yeah. I think first of all, I think fraud is one of the very few crimes. I know there's some others as well where we're really focusing on the actions of the victims than the actions of the perpetrators and the criminals. And we're asking them why they did what they did. And this would have never happened if we didn't have criminals kind of starting everything and making them do it, which is really, really sad. But I think I always go back to that this is just so human. And they're using that human trust. And they're using that we're all vulnerable when we're looking for love. And that is not a crime. I always go back to it. When people say, oh, you were too stupid or you were naive, that is not crimes. And these are highly sophisticated, highly organized criminals that are coming together to actually abuse people. And that is what I really, part of my activism is actually changing that language, kind of falling for a scam, for example. We don't say that you're falling for a rape or falling for a burglary. This is something that's happening to you. So that kind of like you're being targeted by criminals. So what is happening is that they take you through kind of a journey. I call it like trust engineering almost. They know the tactics that work when people are looking, for example, for love. And that kind of now it goes into more crypto investments, like let us build a future together. Now it's not so much about people being in danger. So they're doing love bombing, it sounds like that you found your soulmate. And a lot of people are lonely in this world and they're always wanting just to find that one. And I just don't feel that it's right that we meet these people when they come out on the other side being, abused and battered, and we laugh at them. So for me, there's several tactics at place here where you both have future faking. People really want you to kind of be together and create that future with marriage and kids. I had that too, I was straight there, was ready when I was 30 years old to, find the man of my dreams. And that is all. And after a while, it becomes an abusive relationship. That's how I see it, that you're in it. And there's someone that is not treating you right, putting you into situations that they shouldn't. For example, taking up credit or taking out your pension or whatever. But we can't see it because we're deep into it. So it's very similar to a domestic abuse. They isolate you from friends and family. So you feel that it's you against the world. So there's like peripheral here. And kind of the last one that I think is so important, why we continue to stay. Sometimes it's like, why didn't you understand why, for example, in my case, why did you end up with $250,000 before you understood you were being defrauded? But we have something called the sunk cost fallacy, where the more effort we put into anything, you know, relationships, business, it's much more difficult to turn your back on it. And especially if you realize you've been, you know, a crime has been committed against you. That's something that you've kind of done to yourself. It's really difficult to get out of.
Yeah, well, that sunk cost fallacy I think the most relatable example is for anyone who's in a relationship and their friends are like, I just don't know if he's your guy. And they're like, but we've been together for 4 years or 5 years. And like, we've put in so much work. And so many people stay, you know, minus take away the fraud element, just like a normal relationship that maybe isn't just serving itself or it's ran its course. So many people stay in those relationships because of this idea that they've already invested so much. And that's, to your point, it's even in generally healthy, but just like it's not working relationships, people will stay in those relationships much longer just because of the work they did in it. And to your point, like it's not shocking to hear. It's just like when these types of atrocities happen to these victims, it must be very difficult to face that reality of what happened, because it must be a very scary moment. I guess for yourself, when you realized you were defrauded, how did you come to grips with that? Was it almost like this kind of out of body like experience where it just like you couldn't come to grips that this is what was going on?
I think, as I say, like, I think I waited 2 weeks. I think I knew kind of for 2 weeks. It's almost like the waiting room. You just have to open the door and pass through it. And that is when you know that your entire life is over, that is difficult. So I think my body told me before I did anything, you know, overthinking it. I became nauseous. I was always throwing up at work because I kind of knew now, like, because he had turned on me and turned into this character that I never seen before. And it was awful. So I can feel with a lot of the victims now, you know, when I'm doing the work I'm doing, is like, because I've been there, I've lived it. I'm not only having just sympathy and empathy with you, I'm a peer, because I know the pain it is to actually having to realize that the one you loved never loved you.
Yeah.
Think about that. I'm trying to put people into that mindset. Like, we all need to trust in society. And we can't go through life without loving or trusting someone. And to get hit by that is, you question yourself, you question your judgment, and you have to try to rebuild after that.
You know, watching Love Con Revenge, the point where it was kind of like, it's not a crime because like, they're just friends, like helping me pay off my debts, or like for anyone who's listening, if they're in that situation of like, you know, this is how they've made it seem, like, is that a crime? How do I protect myself if they just keep telling me like, oh, this is just, you're just helping me, you know, like you're offering the money to me, I'm not taking it from you, like you're giving it to me.
Yeah, like this is what these criminals are doing. They're leaning into the trope of society, well, you gave your money away, you know. But it's the intent here that we always have to be mindful of, and everyone forgets that. Like, it's fraud if you lie about the reasoning for the money. You lie about your business, that your business is never going to be set up, even though you have some land. Like, we have some different stories here that is just mind blowing how far people will go. And for me, that is something that's very difficult in these cases. How do you prove intent? How do you prove that someone didn't mean to pay you back? So that is why it's difficult, and that's why you have to gather a lot of evidence, and you have to find a lot of victims to show the pattern.
Do you have any stats, or is there any information out there of just how prevalent this industry, I guess, is, if it is an industry, of just like how many, is it specific like male con artists? I mean, are there women conning men in a similar fashions, the way that you focus on some of these con artist men? And do you have any stats on how prevalent this space is?
Well, like, cybercrime as a whole is the third largest economy in the world. So you can imagine how lucrative it is. And we know that fraudsters are going from drug trafficking to do fraud instead. Because think about it. Digital here, no footprint, and kind of the years in prison as well, far below drug trafficking. So just by that. And it's billions every single year, both in the US and UK, that is going into the hands of criminals just only on romance fraud. So, and in romance fraud, what's very sad as well is that the number lost per victim is much higher than in many others, you know, because it takes longer and they can drain more of you. And a lot of times romance and investment fraud is combined as well. So people lose a lot of money. So it's crazy to me how little we pay attention to it when there's so much money is going from, US citizens to criminals and to criminal activities that are fueling terrorism and drug trafficking. That is how I always look at it when people are saying, oh, I don't care about you, like, I don't feel sorry for you. And then I'm like, well, we don't want this money to end up in criminal hands.
Obviously, we have a large audience of women. And as scary as it is to say, there's probably people listening to this episode who probably are being defrauded and don't even realize it, whether it's being catfished or they're actually speaking to someone right now. What are signs to look out for? And what are some things that might be going on in your relationship that should raise red flags that and maybe in the early stages of a relationship would otherwise seem like kind of normal or just like, there's a reason for it. What are some things to look out for?
I feel like we have to go back into what is kind of a bad relationship or a bad start to a relationship a lot of times where everything is moving very quickly. They are wanting that closeness to you. They're very similar to you. They agree with a lot of what you're saying. They want the same things, like the same things, that is what's so sad about this crime. A lot of times that is just normal, that things are moving quickly or that you have the same interest. But from these criminals, they're using that as manipulation and tactics. For me as well, which is a very interesting one, is that they test you for compliance. So nothing to do with money. Of course, they will mention money quite early on, and maybe they're an investment or want to know how much money you have. But this is like testing to see if you will do as they say. For example, will you change the time you meet up? Will you change the kind of food you eat? Would you just change your opinion sometimes and just go after what they're saying? And that is just to see what type of person you are. Will you go with what they say? Will you trust them on their word? And it's so cunning. I saw it several times in Love Con Revenge because I was going through, the evidence-based like messages. And it was eerily how similar it was to both my own criminal, but throughout the season, kind of just to see where I could see, oh God, here he's just testing her and she's going along with it. And it's so sad to see that in hindsight. You want to scream at them. And I think some of the things that I wish more people would do is just talk about the people you meet online. The more other people around you see and know, the easier it is to get dragged out of the relationship or situation you're in, because they are craving and are betting on that you will rather lean on, your new boyfriend or girlfriend than your friends.
I think what's one of the saddest parts about this whole space, to your point you mentioned, is that there are a lot of lonely people out there looking for connection, looking for companionship. And even if it's not like relationship scams, for money purposes, maybe it's just someone being catfished, right? And the sad reality is the people being scammed, they are, at least early on, like getting some kind of emotional benefit from this, right? That companionship. They're excited to be talking to someone, even if they've never met them or FaceTime them, of all the things like, well, you never FaceTime them, but they, these lonely people are making these connections. And I think it's very difficult for the victims to like wake up and realize what's going on. And there might be people listening right now who can think of a friend or a family member who they think is being scammed or catfished, but they're having a hard time breaking through to that person because, again, this person is finding some kind of companionship, maybe for the first time in a while. What do you recommend for someone listening who might have a friend or a family member they think is being duped by either a catfish or, one of these con artists? What can they look for? How can you, as someone who's been on the receiving side of the scamming, how can you get someone to maybe wake up and see what's going on? Because I think, to your point, it's so difficult for these people to just be honest with themselves about what's going on, because it's like, well, I don't want to lose this thing that I have, this companionship. And it's just a very difficult and sad situation.
I was at a conference last week where there was a quote from a victim who said, "But this is the first time someone has ever told me they loved me."
Yeah.
And think about the power of that,
Yeah.
and that you have that. So I think the more empathy we have, and I think empathy is the word here, if you're going to approach someone that you love, because it's super difficult and it's not an easy thing. I talk to a lot of banking people as well who's trying to get people to realize they're being defrauded, and they're always asking me, what can we say? Like, they're just refusing. We tell them straight out. And that is the issue, that you're telling them straight out. No one wants to be told they're stupid. And by you saying that you're being defrauded and that your boyfriend or girlfriend is a fraudster, you're kind of telling people that they're stupid. And that is a very difficult reality to handle. And I understand we should just understand it immediately. You know, come on, someone objectively. What I would love for family to do, maybe if they have a picture of the individual, if it's a catfish, to go on Google Images, or there are other kind of software you can use to check if it's a deep fake, to check if some AI has been used, or if there is a celebrity, you know. And those cold, hard facts might open their eyes if you come with that. If you're saying directly, like, I think you're being defrauded, you need to come with some more than that. And I think as well, coming just with empathy. I think when I was at the bottom, it was a banking employee that just asked me, how are you? And I was so beaten down. That little empathy there, instead of wondering about the money, because of course it was a banking employee, wondering, okay, what's going on here with the transfers and everything, but how was I as a human being? And just to take that calmness, it's so important, because we will go on the defense. I was on the offense with one of the banks that was in mine, where I even sent in a complaint email to them because I said, how dare you stop the credit card, you know? Wow. So I've been on this side where I've been very angry. And it's very unfortunate, because by that, we will run straight into our fraudsters' arms. And then they will tell you that, yeah, no one understands us. You know, what you and I have is very special. And love is a drug. It's the reason why we say love is blind. Mm-hmm. And especially, but that is how some meet with empathy and don't go on the attack, because it would feel like an attack if you say, we think that your boyfriend or girlfriend is a fraudster. Yeah.
How have you changed since your experience on the Tinder Swindler?
God. I was on Breakfast TV in Norway back in 2019, and I went back recently to watch it. And she's me back then, so vulnerable, so distraught. I had no idea what had happened to her at rock bottom. It changed my entire life. And I love that I can show kind of fraud victims now, like the ones in Love, Con, Revenge. That is there's another side to this, you know, your life doesn't need to be over. But I had to file for bankruptcy. I lost my flat that I owned. It has been like huge consequences for me. So that's why I'm trying to always say, like, the fight that a fraud victim have to endure is a lot of times afterwards. Then the fraud in itself is when you have to try to rebuild your life. But I'm quite privileged by which both the country that I'm from, that a lot of people just trust. Oh, you're from Norway. Like, love your country, trust you, want to hear your story. So I don't take that lightly, that I have that voice and are able to help others now. It's weird, but it's great.
Being someone who was a victim of such a notorious con artist in the Tinder Swindler, filming Love, Con, Revenge, did any of these victims' stories shock you in a way outside of your own experience? Or did it feel like they're all kind of eerily similar?
The tactics are really similar, like how they make you feel. I think that human element is super similar, because we humans, we're much more similar than we are different. But my God, I was shocked. I thought my fraudster was bad. I thought he went to lengths. He's nothing compared to some of these individuals that we have. I can't go into detail, I think, but I think a lot of people are using other humans as, you know, to seem legit. They're using careers. They're just using identity. Identity is so powerful. If you say that you're a doctor or a decorated military, we automatically, and they're living it. I have to say, this is insane as well. This is different than the online ones. You know, they are living this. People are seeing them, and they have that real past of these military, doctor, businessman, baseball player.
not to give it too much away, but the guy who referenced his military background, who claimed to have a military service dog, who had the dog, and it's just like you would never think that that's a whole front, that's fake. You know, it's just
as I always say, Simon didn't do that.
Yeah.
He didn't go to those lengths. There's other stuff he did, but kind of what you get out of that, and it's that callousness. And as I said, these in-person ones are just so horrendous, and there are horrible, evil human beings. They can meet you face to face and give you kisses and be intimate with you. I mentioned that in the documentary, which a lot of people are kind of losing sight of, that people are having intimate relationships with these people. You know, what about that? What do you feel when you didn't consent to that relationship? There's so many layers to what you as a victim have to come through. But what most people are saying, what about the money? And I'm more like, but what about them as human beings? All of them are crying in this series because of what happened to them.
Do you think with the Tinder Swindler and Imagine Love Con Revenge is going to be highly watched and discussed and talked about? Are you optimistic that you're bringing a level of awareness not only to, you know, the audience and the alleged victims, but also law enforcement as almost like a roadmap to how to finally start holding these scammers accountable? Because, like, to your point, like you said in the doc and you said it here today, it walks this really gray area of like this seems fucked up, but is it a crime? You know, like you even mentioned in the doc, like there's aren't even exactly like specific defined laws in place to prosecute these criminals in a way. And do you feel like there will be a change in legislation or laws that will actually make it easier to go after some of these scammers?
I really, really hope so. The thing is that there are laws in place. They're just not widely known by both the police. They're very difficult to, you know, prosecute. There's several layers to this and levels in the US. I was taught that. That is many reasons why they're not going after them. So the laws are there. Like we have one where we have a DA from California coming in, like theft under deception. So there is, but it's kind of the time consuming part and getting a jury to actually find them guilty. For a DA to do that, that takes a lot of balls to do if they're not really sure if they will get a conviction, because people have these preconceived notions about like fraud, you know, well, you gave away your money kind of. So that I think is really difficult. What I am trying to hopefully get and change in legislation is that they have to face consequences for what they did to us as human beings. Mm-hmm. This is so much more than the money lost. This is kind of mental abuse that a lot of them have suffered, and especially the one with the family. And that is where I'm so sad that they're going to get 2-3 years in jail. How much are they going to serve? And then they learn from this. That is the worst part. They will only get better. Mm-hmm. They will, you know, then jump states, you know, to continue. Oh, I just get very angry because that is like the one thing I'm hoping that we can create those discussions. Yes, as you said, Nick, about the law enforcement, how they meet the victims, how they talk to them. But it's more one, they have to file a police report on the lawn outside the police house. And it's just so jarring to me as a fraud victim, how a lot of fraud victims are being treated when they're coming in trying to report a very traumatic experience. This is not just a car being stolen, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
In February of this year, Simon launched his own crypto coin and released his biography book. How does it feel to have him like still trying to make money off of this?
He did not release a book. That is another scam and fraud. Oh, and I think that has been always so funny to me. And I don't mean it like that. Everyone was like going after us, you know, like, how could you trust them? You know, how could you trust them? And then every time he says something, he was going to be the new Bachelor, you know, and he was going to like all of this stuff, dating show and dating app and everything. And I'm sitting there, he's a liar and he's a proven liar. Why are we trusting him? But yeah, he managed to find some other criminals over in Dubai and have this meme coin, and went on several podcasts there with defamatory commentary about me and the other girls, which is highly critical of, I think, the podcasters that are sitting there saying like, yeah, I do believe you. They made a hit piece on you. And I'm like, who? Like, why are you believing him? And then I have been approached by new victims of him as well, which is really, really sad. And that is when everyone's saying to me, you know, move on with your life and forget about it, is very highly difficult. I'm not the one to turn my back on people. And he's going after more and more vulnerable people. So that is not being listened to, that is not getting a Netflix documentary. And he knows this now. He's learned. And yes, it's for me as well, I have to say, it's quite funny to see him being angry and upset with the success. He's heard, of course, now about LoveCon Revenge. And he's saying that I can't catch any scammers and everything. So I'm like, yeah, continue, you know. It's like, we are kind of, I don't like to battle with him online, but it's kind of just an interesting aspect to this that he's still out there.
How did you like locate some of these victims to be able to try to go after their perpetrators?
Well, some of them wrote to me, actually, like after the Tinder Swindler. One of them wrote, and in the headline, there's a Tinder Swindler in the US. So a lot of them have been very amazingly well at, you know, investigating their own story and wanting to do the same as I did. You know, there's power and justice in getting the faces of these individuals out there, because it will stop them. Even though Simon is still out there, a very easy Google search will show him who he really is. I didn't have that back in 2018. And I have wanted to be able to do that for others. So there is, and I just hope that we can, you know, help a lot of other victims. I have to say as well that we do have a male story in the series, because that is a very important factor of the show. That is not only, I know, Nick, you asked that question earlier about how many are there more men and women. This is not a gendered crime at all. It's 50-50 split between men and women. There's a lot of men hurting in this in silence. They would rather go to the grave with this. And I think it's so, so sad to see that there's so many, there are many stories that are not being told because of that.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
This is crazy. I mean, it's just so much to digest. Where can people find you? Obviously, Love, Common Revenge is out tomorrow, but where can people, you know, find all the other things that you're doing, and just, plug away?
Oh God. Yeah. I actually am an author now as well. Me and Pernilla from the Tinder Swindler, we came out with a book called Swindled Never After. So that is more of a continuation of the story, more expert commentary on the problem that we're facing. I'm on Instagram, Cecilia_. My website, CecilieFjellhøy.com. So there's many ways, and reach out. And I'm a founder of my nonprofit, Lovesaid. It's on lovesaid.org. You can come and get both step-by-step help and support if you are a victim of romance fraud, or if you are friends and family, we're there to support you if you need.
Well, Cecilia, really appreciate it. Thanks for sharing your story. Again, sorry that you were victimized, but it is very encouraging to see the work that you're doing, knowing that you are helping a lot of people just get through this. Because, like you said, I mean, it's just so sad to see, one, you know, the crime being committed, but just the healing process that it takes for these people to overcome not only the financial, but the emotional loss that they experience. It's really quite devastating.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
That was wild.
Yeah.
I feel like these scammers should be on a list or something. Like, it's just like, if you're going to serve minimal time for defrauding people, and I don't know what, you know, but I'm just like, I just feel like there should be like a list or some sort of registry that, like, if you're out free in the world, I should be able to look you up and see that, like, you have done this to other people. I'm like, I don't know why that's so hard.
It is crazy that this Simon, the Tinder Swindler, is like signed to a agency. Yeah. And it's like, he's just out there, like, on podcasts, writing a book, like wanting to be an actor. It's like, this is just, it is crazy that they're allowed to have careers. Well, time to get to Katie Ginella. As the seasons change, it's the perfect time to learn something new. Whether you're getting back into a routine after summer or looking for a new challenge before the year ends, Rosetta Stone makes it easy to turn a few minutes a day into real language progress. Rosetta Stone is the trusted leader in language learning for over 30 years. Their immersive, intuitive method helps you naturally absorb and retain your new language on desktop or mobile, whenever and wherever it fits your summer schedule. I have to say, my aunt lives in Spain. She's been there my whole life. She is very fluent in Spanish. And that is something I've always wanted to do, is to be fluent in Spanish. And Rosetta Stone has really helped me do that with their no English translation. So you truly learn to speak, listen, and think in your chosen language. They have an intuitive learning process. So you start with words, you build to phrases, and you progress to full sentences.
If you have a trip coming up where you go out of the country in a place where they don't speak your native language, check out Rosetta Stone. It will definitely maximize your vacation. It was way more fun when you know just a few words, even if it is how to check into your hotel, ask for a reservation at a restaurant, things like that. The people in their community always respond better when you at least make an attempt to speak their language. It's a lot of fun. You feel smarter, and you feel like you're immersing yourself in the place that you're visiting a little bit more.
Don't wait. Unlock your language learning potential now. The Viall Files listeners can grab Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. That's unlimited access to 25 language courses for life. Visit rosettastone.com/VIALL to get started and claim your 50% off today. Don't miss out. Go to rosettastone.com/VIALL and start learning today.
Well, we love our dogs, Jeff and Steve. You know it. We talk about it all the time. And we want to make sure they are well taken care of. And that's why we get pet health insurance through the ASPCA. You know your pet is part of the family. You do pretty much anything for them, right? But those vet bills, they can really add up, especially those unexpected events. That's why it's worth checking out ASPCA Pet Health Insurance. Pet health insurance can help manage the vet bills so you can focus on what really matters, making sure your pets get the care they need when they need it. Oh, and here is a little bonus. There's a perk for enrolling.
When you enroll in the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Plan, you could get a $25 Amazon gift card. It's a little treat for you while you're doing something great for your pet. The program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier to get your pet the care that they may need. It's been around for almost 20 years and has covered nearly 1 million pets in that time. You can tailor your plan to fit your budget, your lifestyle, and your pet's particular quirks, because big vet bills never show up when it's convenient, do they?
To explore coverage, visit aspcapetinsurance.com/VIALL. That is aspcapetinsurance.com/VIALL. Eligibility restrictions apply. Visit aspcapetinsurance.com/Amazon terms for more info. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independence American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance.
When I got your DM, I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, oh, shit. I said no. And you were like, why did you say no? I'm like, because you scared the shit out of me with your questions. That's why.
What's wrong with my questions?
They're very snarky sometimes.
Ooh.
Are you a fan? Do you listen?
I just gave myself away. No, when some of the guests that you have on, I do listen. Yeah. You're good. You're a good interviewer.
Oh, thank you. I hope they're not hard. I hope they're just...
Well, because you're not on the receiving end.
Well, if you have nothing to hide, they're not hard. Well, welcome, Katie.
Thanks for having me.
We're very excited to have you.
We are excited.
Thank you for
have
coming.
you.
Katie first, as you may have not heard, I don't know if we'll keep that part in, first declined the invitation
I did.
to come on the Viall Files.
I did.
And then I begged.
You
No.
didn't. Well, you sort of. Not really.
No, I DM'd
He
her. And
groveled.
I was like, Katie, what?
You were
WTF?
like, why did you decline?
Yeah.
And I literally said, because you scare the shit out of me.
And then I said, I promise you a great time.
Well, let's see.
And I'll keep my word.
She said, I'm waiting for the great time to begin.
When does that start?
Yeah.
You haven't had fun yet? Well, it's really nice to meet you. We're all, you have a room full of fans here. I told Katie I'm team no one.
He did, which I thought was kind of rude.
I commit. Team Katie.
Thank
Look
you.
at women
Well,
are doing
listen,
fun
I
and
appreciate
not
it's like
that.
I can't, a different franchise. I won't say who. It's like I'd love to get so and so on, and then you're here like, well, they're not going to come on because you had so and so on, and and it's just like I'm just trying to play fair.
That sounds childish.
It
Yeah.
does. So
Yeah.
thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I don't want to take sides. I just want to hear everyone's. We're just fans of all of you.
Okay. Very diplomatic.
Mhm.
Where do you want to start? Can I start with Kiki?
Okay.
Ooh.
You want to get right into
I was gonna
it.
say, do you want to start with how you got on the show?
I would say that I don't really want to discuss Kiki. I think there's been enough discussion. I think that it's giving her more time, the time that she asked for.
Mm.
Okay. So you didn't talk to her?
I did. We did have lunch.
Okay.
We first met in LA. I was at a Bravo Diamonds and Roses or something party. And she was there. And I went up and I said, oh my gosh, I've been following you for a long time. I love your true crime and your pop culture. Think you're amazing. She then followed me on social media and I DM'd her like, honored. This is so cool, right? Being that my husband and I have been in media, especially my husband over 20 years, it's not weird to know a quote unquote journalist, someone in the media. So I was like, oh, this is cool. Like she seemed like a cool girl and I loved supporting her. And then she messaged me that she and a friend were coming down to Orange County for lunch and asked me and Jen to lunch. Jen was somewhere. I was out doing errands and I said, sure, I can pop by for a little bit. And we had lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Do you regret having that lunch with Kiki?
I do. I do regret having lunch with Kiki. I think I idolized her a little bit. I loved supporting a woman in this social media, pop culture, Bravo, reality TV space, and also a woman of color. And I loved that. And I think that when we sat down and she said, everything is off the record, everything is off the record, she didn't hold true to that. And I did not tell her the thing that you're going to ask me if I told her. But we discussed a lot of things that lunch, mostly how I felt about being a housewife in my first season.
So you think she's lying?
I think that we have different interpretations of the truth.
I was about to say, do you feel like it's more of like a miscommunication where it's like you, and correct me if I'm wrong, said she went to the hospital and Kiki took that as like, well, you only go to the hospital if like something's wrong. So like.
I did not bring up Gretchen.
Oh.
So there was no reason for me to bring up Gretchen. This was early fall that we had that lunch. And Gretchen didn't even let Jen or I know. Well, I can't speak for Jen, but Gretchen didn't let me know she was even coming back until like the middle to end of December. So I'm not sure why I would have even brought Gretchen's name up. Gretchen was a very new friend.
Right.
We had a triple date, which I'm sure you guys have heard about now.
Mastros?
Yes. And yes.
Matt's here, everyone. By the way, being
Matt
very
is here.
supportive
He's going to nod.
husband.
He has duct tape over his mouth currently.
I know. And
just as good looking in person.
He is.
better.
Very, yeah, honestly.
Better.
Very handsome.
And that was the first dinner I'd ever had with Gretchen and Slade. So they were very new friends. So I'm not sure why I would have even brought Gretchen up. We were literally discussing me. So.
And I guess it just, I mean, did you think that it would ever turn into what it has turned into?
I know. I was saying earlier that Jen and I talked on the phone at the beginning of the season before we started filming. We're like, we think this is going to happen and this is going to happen and this story. None of that happened. It was so far from what we thought would be.
What were your expectations of being a housewife versus what the reality has been for you when you first, signed the dotted line, so to speak?
Mm-hmm. I honestly thought I was going to become friends with them. Not necessarily all of them, but, a good amount of them. And we would fight about petty things about like, I saw your dress at Neiman Marcus. And then we would get over it because that's what I have watched. It has become a little bit more dark, I think. And I also was okay with talking about the custody of my kids and my ex-husband and that tumultuous divorce, meeting Matt and all of those things, because I think a lot of women do go through that. I just didn't foresee it being used as a weapon against me, that it was like, you're a bad person because of X, Y, and Z. So I thought it was going to be like, let's talk about this. Let's bring light to it. Also being the first Asian American on Orange County, also being the first Korean adoptee. I think those are pretty cool things to share because so many people have commonalities with that.
So much in Bravo world, especially recently, it was discussed in the Valley with Janet. It's been mentioned on your show with you.
Mm-hmm.
Being a fan of the franchise, which, many of us are before we go on these shows. And I think now that these shows have been on, like Orange County, how long has it been on?
19 seasons.
19 seasons, 20 years. To find someone who's not a fan is almost...
Or who's never heard of the Housewives franchise.
Weirder to
That's
begin
what
with.
I'm saying.
So I guess... what is your opinion on it? Because it's, I can see both sides, but do you feel like being someone who watched the show or was some kind of fan, do you think that's been weaponized against you by your peers in a way that feels unfair?
That's a good question. I watched Orange County in the very beginning, very, very beginning. And then it got a little dark and I stopped watching. And then I was in talks with casting and I met Gina and I thought, I should probably watch the last season. So it was on in the background, but I sat down to watch the reunion. I wanted to see the resolution of things. I've been a fan of New Jersey in the past, Beverly Hills, right? But I wasn't a fan necessarily of this franchise. But tell me a woman ages 20 to 60 that hasn't heard of Housewives. or Bravo or any type of reality TV like Housewives. If you have a phone and you have social media, it's on there. It's very hard to avoid. So even though I knew about Orange County, I wasn't necessarily watching every season, watching every episode. I wasn't necessarily a fan. I do think it can ruin it. I have heard about a lady on the Valley that is called a fan, and that's been to her detriment. I haven't watched it, so I can't comment on that. But
And I get, and even let's say you were, I guess my question is, would you be afraid to acknowledge that you were a fan for fear that it would be used against you? And do you feel like, some of the OGs, Heather and Tamara, do you think they, use that against you where like, even if you were, it would be unsafe to acknowledge that, even though it shouldn't be necessarily something that's a crime?
I think they would have used that against me. Yes. I think that they think, oh, you're a fan. You wanted to be famous. You wanted to get on TV. I don't know. I think that they do use that against women for sure.
Recently, you and Tamara have had some back and forths on social media. Is there a path forward for you and Tamara?
Yes, actually. She reached out probably towards the end of filming the season, and we kind of had some talks, and she's been in my corner. I'm very appreciative. And quick little thing, speaking of all this, I hear you're friends with Shannon.
Is that okay?
So no. I'm just asking. I heard you guys are buddies.
Yeah,
We
like
had her on the
Shannon.
show.
I like to think
So
I'm friends
she's
with
friends with the media?
all of
That's
them.
so weird.
Oh, there
shade.
you go.
Weird.
Good,
So-
Katie.
That's weird.
I
Did you guys
will
have
s-
lunch ever? or-
No, I have
No,
not.
we haven't.
I've only met Shannon in this room, and I like to think that we're friends.
Don't
I-
say that.
She said, I do not claim
No,
you.
no, we
I
are
don't
not
claim
friends.
you.
Well, I will say, interestingly enough,
We've had Gina on
we
as
have
well.
had Gina on,
Yeah.
Friends, okay.
Heather.
Mhm. Tamara?
I saw Tamara's interview. It was great.
I don't know if Heather thinks we're friends.
Yeah, I don't know if she'd claim
Oh.
us. Fancy pants.
Well, because truly, I don't know what people's perception is of us or the show. If, for example, obviously, whatever you say here on in the mic, we're going to put it out there. And,
Yeah, I figured.
unless you were to tell us not. We always say we're not here. We're entertainers. We're not journalists. I don't know.
Yeah, we are definitely not.
When the quote
You're not a
unquote journal.
blogger?
I don't see we don't spread rumors. If you were to tell us something offline, it's not for public consumption. Like we don't do that. We don't even spread like the blogger community I'm uncomfortable with. It seems like it's a part of the Bravo sphere. And we talked about this last week when talking about this whole, what makes a blogger, what doesn't make a blogger. For us, like the anonymous pages I find to be very problematic because there's just no accountability. For all we know, they could be housewives, pretending to be other
True.
people.
Yep.
And again, rumors can be very destructive. Even if there's rumors that are like half true and half not and things like that. I think it's okay to have relationships in the media.
Yes.
We've even had fun, I guess, at your expense when we're talking about, you going to bloggers' weddings and things like that. What was your expectation as someone who may have had some relationships with people in the Bravo world who consider themselves bloggers or were considered bloggers or somehow even adjacently connected to the community? You seem to have some friendships in this space. Then you became a housewife. Were you surprised by what seemed to be these unwritten rules by some of your peers about like who you could and couldn't be friends with?
Yes, because half of my cast are quote unquote bloggers. So that means content creators, podcasters.
Is that what you consider a blogger?
I don't use the word blogger. I feel like blogger is like MySpace.
Yeah.
I,
like,
that's what they coined it as, but I haven't used the word blogger since literally MySpace.
yeah, it's like,
times.
here's
we
my
had blogs.
recipes.
Right.
Here's my.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a blog ages ago about my children that I would like let my parents read and my ex-in-laws read and stuff like that. But anyways, I also find it weird because my husband has been in media for over 20 years. I've been in media. So being friends with quote unquote bloggers is not weird for us. We eloped with some people, some friends, and 3 of those people are quote unquote bloggers. They're journalists and actual ones. I guess so. The guy that is helping me write my book right now would be considered a journalist, a blogger. So it's not weird for me to have these relationships.
I mean, Gina had a speed dial blogger, a guy that.
correct.
To
she was-
confirm, yeah.
To confirm, she
Correct.
had his number really quickly to call.
Yeah, and I don't have one of the people they're talking about's number. It's not weird for me. Going back, should I have had those relationships? Maybe not. But the fact that I'm friendly with people in media is not weird to me. in the space that my husband and I exist in.
Who do you think in your cast is being the biggest hypocrite when it comes to this conversation about relationships with people in the media, bloggers?
Well, I mean, it would be a toss-up between Gina and Gretchen, because when they had that sit down with Kiki, Gretchen said, "Oh, it's great to meet you." And Kiki was like, "Well, actually, we've met. We've talked on the phone, you know?"
Yeah.
And it's, "Katie, why are you speed dialing him?" And then I see pictures of Kiki and Gina show up on social media. And, you know, she was very quick to reach out to the Kiki and this other person that's involved that's a journalist. So it's kind of a lot of hypocrisy, actually.
Has your relationship with any of these people in media / bloggers changed? And because I'm asking, because again, like I just said, you don't know me or the show that well. We have certain, like, I guess, rules that we try to abide by. Again, we don't spread rumors or gossip. If we get done recording and you tell me something, I'm not going to repeat it. We've heard some. We don't even say off. We just like don't, you know. But that being said, now that you're a housewife, I imagine some of the people you were friends with who maybe don't abide by certain rules that we have for ourselves, where they will spread rumors. They maybe have anonymous blogger accounts. Have you changed your relationship with any of these people in the media since becoming a housewife, given like how they operate and move in their world that maybe didn't, align with you?
Yes, I will say 2 of the people that I became friendly with were friends of friends. So they happened to do this. So that didn't feel as weird to me. But I have taken kind of like a step back. I don't trust anybody. I do feel used, but I also made some rookie mistakes that I shouldn't have made concerning the quote unquote bloggers. I am more careful.
Speaking of friendships, like you went into the season seemingly closest to Jen. Has it been hard watching her not take accountability for what she knew about the dinner with Gretchen? And where do you guys stand today?
It is really hurtful because the reason you saw me go, "Jen, like, come on," is because she was there and she could have backed me up.
Yeah.
And given me some accountability with these ladies. And that hurt. I mean, I left that Persian New Year party gutted. I mean, I was seriously depressed for days. I laid in bed and cried. And then thereafter, weeks after, anytime anyone would mention her name, I would just burst out in tears. And so it hurts because I loved her. I invested so much time in her. Our kids became friends. We hung out with our significant others together. She came to my house all the time. So it didn't feel great. No. And as of now, we do not speak.
She used what's going on with you to kind of get in with them because she was on the outs with everybody last season.
I don't know if it's that, but I feel like she saw me going down and she didn't want to go down with me.
Right.
Hold the line. Why did Slade want you to hold the line? And like, what does that mean?
I wish I knew really what the real story was with that. All I know is when we were in New Orleans and all of that came out, I was getting ready for dinner. I had no idea it came out. I get a call from my husband. "Hey, Slade called me. He sent me a 911 text. He said that you might have sealed your fate." He's on the other line with somebody in production.
Alex Baskin.
I can't, anyways.
Okay.
And
Shout out, Alex.
Yeah, so I didn't say that.
We've had
You
him
did
on the show as well.
Yeah, friend of show.
Yep,
Yeah.
friend of show.
He's great.
We're also friends.
And you have to hold the line for Gretchen, Slade said. You back her up, say she never said it. Because we've already dealt with this with Bravo, he said, and Katie could get in a lot of trouble. So me, being very new to my second season, was like, I don't want to get in any trouble. This scares me. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to back up my friend. Because if we're hearing from a friend that I have to do this, that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I did. And now looking back, why didn't I just say, actually, you did say that. I should have, but in the moment I was literally protecting somebody I thought was my friend.
I mean, is it frustrating watching this back and seeing Gretchen lie in real time about the hospital visit? I mean, we watch her in the car with Tamra. We watch her in her ITM saying she didn't. We watch her saying she's never taken a polygraph test. And then we see the footage of her
it was
from
the same
guy from years ago taking up the polygraph test. So, I mean, how does it feel to watch all of these, just like her lying?
I giggle a little bit because she said it actually twice to Tamra.
Yeah.
That she went to the hospital. And then I heard her in an interview say, "I misspoke." It's not true. I misspoke. That's not something you really misspeak about. You say like, "Oh, I want to get the dark brown or the light brown." That's misspeaking.
Right, it's either
Saying
you did or
that
you didn't.
go to the hospital is not misspeaking, I don't think. So I do kind of giggle a little bit.
Especially when it started with, "I was so sick, I had to go to the hospital." It was like...
Were you frustrated that Tamra, knowing that she knew Gretchen had told her she went to the hospital, and then with the polygraph results, her saying she didn't, were you frustrated that Tamara didn't stick up for you in that moment and say, like, wait a minute, you just told me something different?
I mean, if it was right now, I'd be frustrated because we have a better relationship.
Okay.
But at that moment, she didn't trust me.
Gotcha.
But Shannon, you could see Shannon look at her like, wait a second. Shannon clocked it right away, I think. I don't think she said anything because she kind of liked the pile on me, but they both kind of saw it. Now we've all seen it.
Yeah.
What's your take on the bloggers calling out Emily and Gina for dominating the group?
Give me a for instance. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, that was my question in general because I'm team you, but like
I appreciate that.
as someone who I consume the blogs and my take too as well is like I've loved Gina and Emily, but like it just after that night after the lie detector, it seemed like they left you out to dry. Like it was almost a setup in my opinion.
It was.
I think the blogs in my opinion are calling them out for it.
They are
like noticing that it was kind of like a setup and that they just piled on you.
It definitely felt like a pile on, and I thought it was a setup. I went home.
You thought it was rigged.
Yes, and I went home, Googled this guy. He came up, picture came up. My 21-year-old daughter was like, "Oh, I've seen him.
Yep.
I saw him on Jake Paul." I'm like, "That's interesting."
Yeah, there's allegations allegedly that there's a pay for play.
Correct.
Situation.
You can look at a website that might belong to him, allegedly, and see that.
It's like there's the truth, and there's like how much do you want the truth to
correct.
talk?
There's A, B, and C.
Yeah.
Yes, and I thought it was a setup in my mind. All right, and then the episode came out, and I see Gina saying, "Don't worry, we have a plan," and then telling Tamara, "Don't worry, we got her." Before
You overheard this?
No, I watched it when I watched it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was right.
Yep.
It all felt, even when I walked in the door, the air felt thick. It felt weird. And that's why you see me get really
you look
anxious.
nervous.
Oh my God. Because we had just come back from New Orleans and I know they all hated me. I had no friends in that room. And even Jen, I saw her not stick up for me in New Orleans. So I was like, this feels horrible. So I started to get really sick in the restroom. And then she announced, we're going to do a polygraph. I was like, oh, great. Okay, let's do it.
You were right about Heather. I definitely think Heather called the
Well, I
paparazzi
know
on
I was
herself.
right. I didn't need a polygraph to tell me that.
Right.
Okay. My sources.
Was it
reputable.
frustrating for you, regardless of whether the polygraph was real or not, that despite Heather proven to be a liar in this environment, they just brushed right past that?
They brushed right past everybody's. They brushed past Tamara's question about autism, being on the spectrum. We had like a quick second about that and then brushed past it. We brushed past Jen saying she was uneasy about marrying Ryan. And then me, it was like, get out, you need to go. And I was kind of like, okay, I kind of want to go.
Yeah,
So
they did brush past some big confessions.
Yep.
Yeah.
But did you notice the only 3 people that passed with flying colors?
Emily.
Gina and Gretchen.
Going to the comments that Gina made about the Asian designers.
Yes.
Did it raise red flags with you or concern you that her reaction to Kiki Monique telling her that you had brought this up was more angry that you would accuse her of being racist on a national platform versus, oh no, I made my friend feel a certain way?
I felt like she got caught in the moment with her pants down a little bit. And I just want to clarify that when I was cast, when they offered me the spot, that was my first thought is because of 2020 and a lot of things that have happened in the Asian realm, I wanted to highlight Asian brands, Asian people, that kind of thing, right? I didn't say I was going to wear Asian brands exclusively. Like, does she want my bra and underwear to be made in Korea? I don't know. But like, I just wanted to highlight some really cool brands
It's
that maybe
definitely a
people
weird
haven't
thing
heard of.
for her to stick her
upset.
business in.
Yeah.
Right. So somebody telling me how Asian I need to be feels weird.
It's definitely
Because
weird.
I am learning my own Asian culture on my own. I am an adoptee from Korea. My daughter is helping me with that. I have a really dear friend who's also adopted from Korea, and we share stories. I'm not going to be told how Asian I need to be.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
for me only.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense that it's something that you would like to at times prioritize and consider and go out of your way to make an attempt. But it doesn't
And
mean
also
you have
feel
to,
comfortable with that pace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
so
and you're
growing
allowed
up
to
in
change it.
Georgia
Yeah.
in an all white community, if I want to take a slower pace learning that, that's my choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I guess has she ever apologized for making you feel that way?
No, I have gotten 0 apologies for anything. Well, no. That's a lie. I won't lie. I have gotten 1 apology, and it was a chat GPT message because my daughter put it in like this AI detector, and it was AI.
Who sent you that?
Gretchen. Because I was like, wow, this is really well written, and it says warm regards, and I was like, that's wow. Like, I know who it's from. It's from your number, girlfriend.
You're like, and it's summer and it's hot.
Warm regards. I was like, that's interesting. It's the morning I'm doing press in New York. So it was warm regards. Oh, that was nice.
And what was the chat GPT apologizing to you for?
It was for the inappropriate video that her and Jen put out.
Oh, right.
So 6 days later, she sent me a warm regards message.
So after she got enough backlash to make her feel like she needed to
Yes.
cover her tracks.
Mhm.
Okay. But Gina has never once.
No.
And Jen didn't apologize to you
No.
for that?
No. But I will say, Jen posted it, but it was Gretchen in the video that I felt was being inappropriate.
Okay.
And now, from the end of this last episode, when you're leaving, are you essentially being put on pause at this moment?
I think you'll have to wait and see what happens.
Wait and see. Okay.
But to that end, why weren't you invited? I know you mentioned in recent interviews that you suggested that production was protecting you, which was really just frustrating as a fan to hear, because it's like
I heard you say that.
I don't care if they're getting along or not getting along. It's just like you guys made this the drama, so why are we not allowing?
Why are you taking her out of it?
Well, right.
I'm less interested in watching. No.
We are a show of that, I will say, to your point. And also, I asked to show up. I asked production, can I just show up? Can I just show up? Tell me where they're staying. I'll just show up. And they said, no, it's probably not a good idea. So I didn't go.
They didn't give you a why?
No.
What do you think is the reason? Do you think the women got together and said she can't come? Do you think they tried to hold a hard line with production and demand you not invited?
I don't think that they have that kind of power. I do think that production did see it was just a pile-on and a constant me story. And so they were like, you know what, Katie, it's probably not a good idea for you to be there. It's just going to be about you.
So why do you think all these women who, without you, aren't the closest group? You know, there's a lot of conflict within these women. Why do you think they have band together to target you in the way that they have?
If I were to guess, it's because last year I embarrassed them a little bit with things that they may have lied about or skewed. And so this was their way of getting back at me. Because the nanny reaching out to me, my daughter going on that podcast to tell her side of the story that she didn't get to tell on a reunion stage, embarrassed Emily. You know, me calling out Heather about paparazzi embarrassed her. So I think that this was the way to get at me.
What regrets, if any, do you have from season 1? What would you have done differently if you could?
You know, at the end of season 1, I was regretful of a few things, but now I'm not. Just like this season, I wish I would stick up for myself more, you know, be a little bit more vocal. But this is who I am. I am very much in person the same as I am filming. I'm very much the same person. So although I'm like, damn it, I should have said this, or I should have, you know, that's who I am. I do need to get more confident in standing up for myself. But in those moments, I was very authentic and very real. So although I regret not being a little more vocal, I don't really regret anything from first season.
Was it shocking to hear Gina on Watch What Happens Live say that Heather was the one who did all the research on your past?
Not really. No. I mean, the way that they came at me, Emily and Heather, I mean, you could put 2 and 2 together. You knew it was one of them.
Do you think that the women are banding together to essentially get you to leave the show?
That's what it feels like.
Will you not do that, please?
I'll be very
If you
angry.
can come on as my friend.
I will.
To that point, are you considering, regardless of what these women want or what Bravo wants, are you considering not coming back because who wants to show up to work not having friends?
I have not considered that.
Okay, period.
We love.
Love that.
She said I'm a bad bitch. I don't either.
I think I deserve a fair chance.
100%.
I think I deserve for people to get to know me. I appreciate you sitting down with me because you are getting to know me a little bit more. This is more than I was afforded in 2 seasons.
Okay.
I think Nick even said when we talked about all of this, you know, when it was all kind of out in the headlines and whatnot, just that, like, if you were to this be your last season, it's like, how would anyone want to join this show if this is how they're treated? If they're chewed up and then spit out and then there's just like, okay, on to the next one. Who else can? It's like what friend, like what show? Who
I
wants to
never
be
thought
on
about
this?
it like that way. Wow.
Do you think Bravo has a rookie hazing problem?
I don't think that's a Bravo issue. I think that's a woman issue.
Mm.
Okay.
Women do be hating women.
I know. And I've said this, like, why couldn't me surviving my first marriage be something we talk about and uplift each other about? Why does it have to be something that is going to follow me with these people, that I'm a bad mother?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think of it that way. And I wouldn't think of it even if I hadn't gone through it, if you told me that.
Right.
I wouldn't be like, oh, you must be a horrible person. But I think that they grasp onto anything to make me look that way.
You obviously have been made to seem like a liar
Mm-hmm.
on this show from the rest of your peers.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate you sharing your side of the story. Have you ever told a lie?
Of course I have. Haven't you?
Sure, but specifically on this show. And I only ask because I empathize, because like a lot of your peers are liars on this show, have been caught in lies, and I could try to put myself in your shoes and be like, well, I mean, if they're fucking lying, why do I owe you the truth?
I lied when I protected Gretchen.
Remind me what the lie was.
I lied when I said, Gretchen, you've never said that before. I don't know what they're talking about. That was a lie.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Anything else? Any other burning questions?
Okay. I'm just like, I also feel like, do you kind of feel like you're also being used as like a sacrificial lamb? Because I feel like there's a lot of storylines that are like a lot of characters on your show that don't really have a storyline outside of you.
I
All
think
of 'em.
yes.
Yeah.
I think it's also easy to pick on you so the heat's off of me.
Right.
So-
Deflecting.
So yes,
Oh.
and I am not good at that.
What is your opinion on recording
Oh,
people?
okay.
Like
This
the
is a
conflict
good- this is
between you
good.
and Shannon.
Right.
I think she's recorded other people in the past.
Twice, 3 times actually.
Sorry,
that I know
I'm
about.
not Shannon. I love you. You know, it's like,
Yeah,
Oh yeah, your
besties,
friend.
bestie alert,
Don't talk
bestie
about your
alert.
friend.
every time I have someone on that Shannon doesn't like,
You're
I
gonna get a
the,
call.
I'm not mad. I'm
She
just
listens to
disappointed.
everything. You're gonna get a call.
Shannon, I love you.
You can't say that after the fact.
Yeah,
I love
no
all-
offense, but
no offense.
No team.
But yeah, I
team
mean,
Nick.
like, what are the rules and from what you understand them to be, and what do you think they should be?
Based on California law,
Okay.
if you were to come into a public space, you don't expect privacy with your phone on speaker in a public space. When there's 20 plus people in the room, social media cameras, executives, you kind of figure somebody's going to hear your conversation. Should I have shared that I recorded Shannon with Jen and Alexis? No, I should not have. I should have only sent it to Matt for Matt to hear the lore and have been done with it. And I regret that. But I did. And that's it.
Do you think it's a path forward for you and Shannon?
I hope so, because we had a lot of fun. Shannon is a really good time. But I don't know. She is really holding on to this.
was that another frustrating moment with Jen when she said she had never seen the video, heard the video, knew nothing about the video?
She's never heard the audio recording or seen it, but it was frustrating for her to not back me up in that moment. Yeah.
Reunion. What do you haven't recorded? It's filmed.
No,
yet? Okay.
next month.
What hill will you die on? And are there any relationships over others that you hope to mend at the reunion?
I will die on the hill that I didn't tell Kiki. And I don't know the answer to your second part of that question. I'm waiting to see how it goes. I think I'm owed some apologies.
Are
So-
you aware of anything that happened on this cast trip that you did not go on?
Yes.
You are.
Do you feel like any of the women regretted not having you there, because when one target leaves, another usually pops up, and while all the attention was going to you, and they still got to make a TV show.
I did say to Jen in the scene that will air tomorrow night when we're meeting for coffee, I did say, if I'm gone, you're next.
Ooh.
Because that's
And
how it works.
Are you good at seeing the future?
I feel like I am. Maybe I'm
Okay.
clairvoyant.
Okay.
What was the first part of the question you asked me? It was layered.
He does that.
I did that.
I can't
A
remember.
hill you'll die on?
Hell you
No,
die.
I
That
answered
was the key,
that.
yeah.
I forget, but
Well, I guess it's more like, who's going to be the most regretful that you weren't on that trip?
oh, that's right. Tamara has told me that one of the biggest mistakes is that I wasn't filming for for that trip.
That she wishes you were?
I'm just going to say that it was, I wish I could have gone on that trip, but maybe it was best I didn't.
Are you feeling more confident or more scared going into the reunion?
Both. The reunion is not something that you go into, you're like, can I cuss?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking got this. That's not something you go into doing. You can feel a little confident, but also you never know. Like last year, I felt a little confident and then they hit me with a semi about my custody.
Yep.
So you're not really excited to do this.
It is shocking that they feel like they have any legs to stand on after they did that to you at that reunion.
I feel like me telling the nanny I can't talk to you, but my daughter went on this podcast and you weaponizing my custody is not the same thing.
Yeah.
Did Heather ever apologize? She never really.
She did in the moment because she saw it got bad.
Yeah.
She said, I'm so sorry you went through that. I can't imagine. Off camera though. And I was like, okay, thank you. And I was just trying not to cry.
Mm-hmm.
And the amazing person that does my hair, who's here, who was also there at that moment, was like glaring, like, what are you doing here right now? He was like, get away from her.
Any final thoughts before we send you on your way?
No, thanks for having me. You're not that bad.
Not that bad.
That's what they say.
And I appreciate that, Nick.
Well, it was so great to, obviously we only see so much on this show. So it was really great to sit next to you and hear more from your actual voice of what's been going on. And you seem like a great mother. You seem like a great wife. You are a great housewife. So I really hope that you continue.
I will be very upset if you're not back next season.
Tell your friend.
Tell your friend.
Noted. Katie, thank you very much for coming. I hope you come back.
We may or may not be friends now. Maybe I will.
Well, regardless of what happens with you next season, we would, if you're not brought back, we'll have you back.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
I promise you that. Thank you guys for listening. Where can people follow you?
Katie.Ginella.
Okay. Go ahead and follow Katie. Subscribe. Tell your friends about our show. If you haven't listened to the Dale and Kat episode from Going Deeper yesterday, be sure to check that out. Lots of great episodes to listen to if you haven't listened to all of them. We appreciate all of you. We'll see you back on Monday. Don't forget to send your Ask Nick questions, by the way, in case you have some relationship trauma in your life or problems that you want resolved. We're always here for you. AskNick@theviallfiles.com, I think is the email address. Okay, check it out. All right, bye. We'll see you on Monday. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.